You pick it up without deciding to. You feel it before you think it. Your thumb is already moving toward the screen. There is no reason. Nothing happened. And yet here you are, unlocking your phone for the ninth time this hour, scanning for something you cannot even name. You call this a bad habit. You call it addiction or laziness or a lack of willpower. But the real answer is far stranger. The urge you feel is 2 million years old, and it did not evolve for a screen. It evolved for a savanna. Picture your ancestor, somewhere in the grasslands of East Africa. Food is not sitting in front of her. It is scattered, hidden, unpredictable. A cluster of berries here, nothing there. A rustle in the grass that might be a threat or might be dinner. Her brain had to solve a problem. When do you keep looking and when do you stop? Too little searching and she starves. Too much, and she wastes energy she cannot spare. Evolution built a system for this, not a system for satisfaction, a system for seeking. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp identified a brain circuit he called the seeking system. It runs on dopamine. And here is the part almost everyone gets wrong. Dopamine is not the reward chemical. It is not the pleasure of eating the berries. It is the drive that sends you looking for them. Dopamine fires hardest not when you find something good. It fires hardest when you don't know if you will. Uncertainty is the fuel. A guaranteed reward barely registers. A maybe is electric. Your brain is not built to reward you for having. It is built to reward you for wanting. In the 1990s, scientist Wolfram Schultz tracked dopamine neurons in primates waiting for juice rewards. When the reward was certain, dopamine barely moved. When it was unpredictable, dopamine surged, especially in the moment just before the animal found out what it would get. Not the getting, the almost getting. Now bring that circuit forward 2 million years, same brain, completely different environment. You are no longer foraging for berries in tall grass. You are foraging for information in a small glowing rectangle. Is there something good in the grass? Is there a message? A like? You do not know. And that not knowing is exactly what makes you check again. Here is the twist. Your ancestors' search environment was limited. Only so many bushes, so much grassland. Eventually, the search would end. Yours never does. The feed refreshes, the notifications regenerate, the bushes never run empty. You have built a world that perfectly exploits a system designed for scarcity, then removed the scarcity. Of course, you can't stop looking. The looking was never the problem. It was the solution to a problem that no longer exists in this form. Researcher Nir Eyal, who has studied how technology products are built, describes this loop as intentional. Trigger, action, variable, reward, investment. The same four-part structure that shaped foraging in the wild, rebuilt on purpose inside an app. The unpredictability is not a flaw. It is the entire design. Why does boredom feel so unbearable in the middle of all this? Boredom is not empty. It is your seeking system with nowhere to point. For most of human history, there was almost always something to scan for. A threat, a food source, a shift in weather. Idle time with no target is a strange, recent experience for a brain built for constant vigilance. So when you feel that itch to check your phone during a quiet moment, you are not weak, you are ancient. There is a deeper layer too, one built from social information rather than food. For most of your evolutionary history, knowing your social standing, who liked you, who was upset with you, could mean the difference between belonging to the group and being cast out of it. In a small hunter-gatherer band, being cast out could mean death. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has argued that much of human cognitive evolution was shaped by tracking exactly these relationships. Your brain evolved to be sensitive to social feedback because social feedback used to be survival information. Now every notification is a small pulse of that same ancient signal. Someone commented, someone viewed your story. Your seeking system cannot tell the difference between a like from a stranger and a nod of approval around a fire 10,000 years ago. To your dopamine circuit, both register as the same category, social information, possibly important, worth checking. This is not a personal failure of discipline. It is what happens when an ancient, well-calibrated survival system meets a modern environment built, sometimes very deliberately, to trigger it constantly. Knowing this will not make the urge disappear, but it changes what the urge means. It is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is evidence that something in you still works exactly the way it was built to work. Psychologist Adam Alter, who has studied compulsive technology use, has pointed out that